So I went to another event the week after that, and it was actually featuring a woman named Melissa. She is the creator of Fearless Con that happens here in Philly. It's crazy because there's this thing like the revolving door. Like for instance, just coincidentally, there's a reason why the Kismic co-worker space popped up when I moved, because I was looking for spaces like that, but it didn't happen until I moved. So it was a way to get me back there to connect. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe there was a reason for that. So I found out about Fearless Con last year because a designer that I follow who's amazing, who I'm inspired by, actually went to an event. And and this was last year, and I was like, oh my God, there's events like Fearless Con for women here in Philly, empowering. I didn't know that. Like, here again, me being oblivious, not knowing what my city actually has to offer. And there's a moment for me. There's a place for me here. And it was just awesome. So her being at this event randomly, like I wasn't expecting it. Her being the talent featured, like I wasn't expecting it. And like her talking about her process of her journey and how she's able to add all these different slashes to what her skill set is.
I switched around like my title probably like every few months because I can't relate to it or something changes or whatnot. I just added the digital and experiential. And I think that's like one of the benefits of being your own boss is that you get to make your own title. And so I put that because I work heavily in the digital sphere, designing anything from logos to branding suites to websites for clients. And then also experiential, because I love creating experiences for people, whether that be a small dinner party at my house and having everything branded and creating this actual experience, to my biggest event, which is a conference every year. So yeah, I love hosting events, and the other slashes would probably be photographer that I couldn't fit in, but everything I just put under digital.
Because of the day and age we live in, there's so many avenues you can go down, and there's so many ways to survive in what it is that you do. But I think figuring out is like the tricky part, and she's figured it out. She moves and shakes like a boss would, like reinventing herself, creating opportunities for herself, networking, being in the right spaces at the right time. So for me, I got a lot from that. Like even her going into when you're a freelancer, sometimes you have to take on projects that might not be your liking, right? But you got to do it to pay the rent. Do what pays the rent. Not saying that you should go into any space and not have integrity. No, like you should have a standard. Like should be a cutoff of what you do and what you don't do. But what I say is, it kind of reminds me of the message that I heard actually Denzel Washington say. You got to do what you have to do what you want to do. So if this project you're working on is something you might not be interested in, but you need to pay your bills, right? You need to do what pays the rent. Like, you know what I mean? You have to do it because you have to survive, right? And the more and more you work on projects, you will definitely get to a dream project. It just takes consistency. It takes that tenacity. It takes ambition. Like you gotta want to do it, even when you're tired. You know, you gotta put yourself in that space to be in that that mindset, right? And I think that's the most important thing that I got from being at this event with Melissa, like really seeing who she is and how she moves and like traveling and how she makes that work for her. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm inspired by her because I can see myself being in that space. Like she's a prime example of it is doable. She is a representation of that. And that's what I took from it. And I also looked at it in a way like, hey, there could be an opportunity for me to actually work with her. Maybe this year at Fearless Con. Like I have a skill set that I could exchange to just have an opportunity to work for her. That actually helps build my network, building relationships. So that's how I look at it. And I'm excited because I don't know what the future holds. But I made that connection for a reason. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but it will be at some point, you know, and that's how I look at it. And it's exciting to see it, and it's exciting to know that there's a space for me here in my city that wasn't. So with all that to say, hopefully it doesn't sound like I'm rambling. I got inspired to create I would call it a consistent post on my Instagram page. And it's based around creative gems. So that's just how I'm branding it. This is the name of it. And it's basically about messages that I've received from creatives, or even messages from me that I've collected or I've built for myself. And it's more inspiring, uplifting. I want to use it as a way to inspire people. If you're in the creative, or if you're anybody and you just feel the need, like you need to see something visual that helps you get out of whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? So I started when I went to the first event. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this it's conviction. Like every Friday, I'm gonna post a creative gem that I designed myself with using the awesome brushstroke typeface that I use all the time for my brand. That's the consistency part. Creating a color palette that I use consistently when I'm doing creative gems. So when people see it, they associate it to creative gem. So I'm actually on my 4th one. I actually designed last week and I'll be posting Friday. Staying ahead of the curve allows me to do that. And doing it gives me consistency. It's another way that I can be consistent on my social media channels. I don't always have to talk about sneakers. We've come a long way from that. But I don't always have to post when there's a holiday. But like really having the integrity and to self-discipline that and carving that into my time. Like, hey, you have to design a creative gem every Friday. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever's going on, I have to make time for that. And it's also a design exercise for me where it helps me process. It helps me design faster. It's an exercise. It's something that I can do to take my mind off of a project that I'm currently working on that I'm probably stressed about. Like I can just jot down or sketch out an idea for my creative gem, go to my computer, design it. I know the color palette, I know the font, so I don't have to think about those things. So like that's the thinking behind it. This is my 4th one. So the entire month of April, you guys can check out my Instagram page, but I'll be posting the 4th one this Friday. But yeah, like I got inspired going to that event. Not only did I make connections, but I also got inspiration to actually feed my brand, feed my channel, and like curate something that comes from me. So that was a goal of this vlog today. I really wanted to have a talk, spit out some creative gems to you guys, and inspire. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely be back very soon.